I'm like, I like Celine Dion, but not this much, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. You're like, it's a little much. It's a little
it
too much.
is.
That's so
It's a little
funny.
weird, but I like it for like there's so much social media stuff like for ADHD and neurodivergence now and
Yep.
it really is a good place to find information and get people's takes, but I have to limit it. I have to put my phone in another
Yeah.
room.
Yeah. I agree with that. It's an overload. And then plus you also have to suss out misinformation, and then you have
Yeah.
to like, and I don't know. It becomes too much for me. And then I am like, I have depression. So it's
Yeah.
like it'll sink me, and I'm like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it's hard because now, yeah, like watching too much news for me is just a
Yeah.
bad thing right now. I don't,
Same
I
deal.
try to keep stuff on like in my room that's like YouTube, lo-fi ambient stuff, and that's kind
Yeah.
of nice. So
Yeah.
it feels like there's something there, but it's not harmful, It's not like
Yeah.
constant bad news.
Yeah.
And I live with my parents who are both elderly and they keep the news on and that's fine. Like it's good someone's informed, but the more I'm informed, the worse I feel. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah,
even
I
gonna.
have to do it in the way that I have to preserve my sanity is I was just telling a client about this earlier of like I have a time, like a very
Mhm,
short window of time to jump into the swamp and learn as much as I can, but then
mhm.
I'm out, and then I'm out.
Yeah,
And I cannot do it on social media. It is one of the most divisive, awful places in the world. So,
yeah, I agree. Even Substack, like I love Substack, but there's so much political stuff now that
yeah.
it's just like a fire hose of stuff all day, every day. And I'm like trying to cultivate my feed a little better so I'm not getting all this. Like, I don't want to know. I
Yeah.
want to go to Substack for other things I don't want to know. Um,
Yeah, you know what? In terms of like ADHD type stuff, I'm the same way in that I'm well, like I think I don't know if you know this, but
mhm,
I'm very productivity centered.
yeah,
I'm like the now what part of ADHD of like we've read the books, we know about dopamine, we know about executive function and the spoons that we all that stuff, and but we're still not doing the laundry. So
right.
where do we who do we turn to and what do we do to be like, even though all of this is happening and it's a
Mhm.
big pain in the ass and it's a struggle, how do I still want to do the laundry? How do I do that? That to me is really fascinating. And I'm
Yeah,
super fascinated to talk to you about food because that
yeah,
is also that's my Achilles heel. I
mhm.
still to this day struggle with that stuff.
Yeah, me too. And, for me, the biggest thing was binge eating and impulse
Oh,
eating.
was
And it's like, and it's something, I still struggle with, but I'm trying to get a handle on it. And one of the things that helps is slowing myself down. So
Mhm.
if I'm about to like eat something, I actually got AI to help me with this. And I know AI is going to kill us all, but until it does, it could be useful. So I
Yeah,
programmed
play with
it.
the tools of our
Yeah,
destruction. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Every time we use it, we're helping it. But like I created a tool in it that asks me questions like whenever I'm about to eat something and it's like, what are you really trying to do? What kind of emotion are you trying to suppress or what are you trying to get through? And like for me, if my mom has been dealing with health stuff, I'm stressed about that.
yeah,
Financial stressed about that. So I'm
yeah,
like, okay, I can eat something and I'll feel better, but it doesn't really solve the problem. So like I'm in the place of trying to like the biggest thing for me is slow down, like find a way to slow yourself down, whether it's an accountability buddy or someone
yeah.
you text or someone even an AI like, say, "Hey, I feel like eating this brownie, whatever. Help me through this." And it'll usually I've programmed mine to like ask me searching questions about why I'm doing it. And by the time I get through it, I'm like, this is exhausting. I'm done. So it's almost like it wears you
You're like
down.
it's.
It's
You're like,
it's
I don't
over.
even want to eat the chips anymore. Can I just go to bed?
Yeah, exact. Well, that's another thing. Like for me, the later I stay up, the more I want to eat. And I used to
Yeah.
be very semi-nocturnal and I used to stay up till like 2 or 3 in the morning doing writing and whatever. And then I
Mhm.
realized the later I was up, the more I had this impulse to snack. And, I'd make more tea and I'd get caffeinated and that was not good. So now I'm trying
Mhm.
to like force myself to go to sleep by 12 every night. And
Good.
it's helped, you know, it
Yeah.
helps to have more quality sleep because also that helps your hunger cues and everything. You're less likely to
Yeah.
emotionally eat.
Do you feel
So,
like that all those spoons that we spend during the day, especially if we don't get good sleep, right? So
yeah.
we already have the executive function deficit. And so now we enter into the day tired. I'm also the same way in terms of end of the day, all my spoons are done. Like if I've
Mhm.
been with clients all day or if I've been dealing with like just stuff that's easy to do but it's hard to do, like paying a bill, doing
Mhm.
executive function stuff. And then at the end of the day, if I'm hungry and I don't have an easy thing, I'm just, my kids like chips. I'll go right into that. And
I love chips, yeah.
yeah. And I'm like, I know that there's like some, uh, I don't know, best advice or whatever it is out there about like, well, just keep it out of the kitchen, right? Like, don't have chips in the cupboard. But I can't do that because
Mhm.
I have kids.
Yeah.
Um, I
Well,
mean, I
that's
could
the
be an
hard
awful
part.
dad and not give them chips, but you're all
Uh,
gonna suffer with me.
yeah, exactly. It doesn't and, for me, the more I restrict, like, in my head, the more I'm like, "I'm not eating that and I'm not keeping it in the house. I'm just gonna go out and get it anyway." So, I'm
Yeah,
sorta, like,
right.
setting myself up to do worse because then I'm like, "Okay, I am restricting myself and I'm doing it intentionally, but at the same time, now I wanna go against myself," which makes no
Yeah,
sense, but it's that authority, autonomy thing. So,
yeah.
I'm balancing that. Like, for me, I can have stuff in the house, but I have to be like, "Okay, I'm not keeping it in my eye line," and I keep it somewhere that's a little harder to get, like, I put my pantry is a mess, so, like, if I put it in the pantry and it's hard to get to, I'm less likely to use it. Like, I have
Oh, yeah,
seltzer. I
yeah,
drink seltzer a lot because that gives me that feeling of drinking something that's interesting, and it's under some things, like, I stacked some things on it. It's like little cubes, so
yeah.
because it's less accessible, I'm less likely to use that, so I sorta use that mentality, I'm gonna make it a little harder to get to, and,
I like that advice. Like just in general, like that's just solid ADHD advice. If you're trying to stop yourself from doing a thing to create that extra tension, I
yeah,
love that. Oh my God,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's what I do too with, like, for example, my social media. I'll take my phone
Mhm.
and put it in my other room. And it's only a couple steps, but if I'm watching a show in the living room or I'm working on my computer,
Yeah,
I'm not going to take that step and go get it. And I'll feel the urge to reach for it, but I'm like, oh, it's not
yeah.
there. Okay. And it's
Oh,
the
that's
same with
yeah,
food for me. Like, just having it somewhere that I can grab it is a lot easier versus having it somewhere existing in my house, but it's a little more difficult to get to. So,
yeah,
it's like the best of both worlds for me. I don't feel like I'm being restricted that I don't have it, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't need to grab it necessarily, you know?
yeah.
It's
I
it's
like
weird. It's a
no
balance.
choice. I love getting rid of, and I've only really been successful at this with breakfast,
Mhm.
where I'm like, I don't want to decide what's for breakfast. So every single morning, I have an omelet that is
Yeah.
basically the same omelet, and I don't care. I don't
Yeah.
need variety for my breakfast. Um, but I haven't been able to figure out how to get that into lunch and dinner reliably.
Yeah.
Um, it's a struggle.
I know. Well, what helps me is like I want boring things to taste better, right? So like
Okay.
I've been paleo for a couple, I want to say like 7 or 8 years. And I'm not like super into like eating a whole cow or anything, but like I can't do high carbs. I can't do a lot of sugar. I found this
Okay.
out when I was young as much as I hate to admit it. So what
Okay.
I have to do is do like moderate protein, higher fat and lower carbs and
Okay.
I do cauliflower rice, which I kind of think is an affront to rice in general. But if I could put stuff on it, like if I put tomato sauce on it, I got some vegan cheese that I make like pasta, and it gives
Okay.
me that sense of like novelty. Or I'll just have condiments, like condiments, and I know this sounds really eating disordered, but like
What?
ketchup and stuff, like ketchup,
Oh, just
salsa.
drinking ketchup? You just squirt it into your mouth?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
I put it on potatoes and, like, just
Oh
having
yeah.
it's, like, great because then you're giving your taste buds something interesting, without being like, I'm gonna go eat a quarter pounder or whatever. Like, I haven't had fast food for like 20 plus years. So that's not my thing. My thing is like pastries and lattes at the coffee shop. So
Oh yeah,
that's really
mine's like
hard.
bread
Yeah.
stuff, and I always end up regretting it.
Mhm.
But it's I don't know why. Well, it's like it's fast, it's quick, it's
Dopamine.
feels filling, and it's like instant. But then the crash is right after.
Well, it's such a great dopamine hit, like carbs and sugar and salt and all that stuff that tastes good. It gives your brain that charge and then like you said you crash. And for me,
Yeah.
I'm carb sensitive, which I still suspect I'm pre-diabetic cuz everyone in my family's
Okay.
had it. So, I have to be really careful and intentional. And if I have a lot of carbs one day, like I'll feel fine, I'll push through with caffeine, whatever, but then for 3 days after I have like a carb hangover.
Oh,
And
okay.
so I it's hard for me too, like, I think the best advice is try to find substitutions that are a little better. So, if you can make your own, like, say you wanna make have a muffin instead of going to the coffee shop where you don't know how much sugar's in it or whatever, make it at home and then at least you know what you're putting in it. And
Oh, I have a bread machine, by the
yeah.
way, that makes amazing, but I'll eat the whole freaking loaf.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good.
It is good, especially when it's warm. Like, my mom made dinner
It's so good.
weird like these weird cassava flour dinner rolls the other night, and they're okay, they're not like the best things, but when they come out and they're warm, they're just
Yeah,
perfect, and you want that to stay like that's the experience because then they get cold and they're not as good, right?
yeah.
So, I don't know.
How do you handle that? Like, where, like, is overeating on bready type stuff is, I mean, I'm not a nutrition expert, so I don't know,
I
like,
mean,
the,
I'm yeah, unfortunately, I've wanted to do some sort of training or certification. I've not had the resources to, but like since I was 11, I had food sensitivities that actually alleviating those or removing those completely had
mhm.
such a good effect on my ADHD that I literally forgot I had it. And then
Mm.
20 years later, got re-diagnosed as an adult, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I kinda managed with diet and exercise, and
Oh,
I
cool.
think
That's
for
very
me,
cool.
the hard part, though, you're right, is, like, where's the off switch? And the only thing I can offer is, like, finding ways to distract yourself and, like, let your brain catch up and be like, "Okay, I'm eating bread. I had bread." And, I think there's diminishing returns too. Like, I've noticed if I have a latte, a 12 ounce is just as good as a 16 because by the time I'm finished with
Yeah.
the 12 ounces, the rest of it is just like my taste buds are like, yeah, whatever.
There's a
So,
compulsiveness to this, I think, sometimes with a lot of these things. Like,
yeah,
I can relate to coffee, where it's the act of drinking, it's the
yeah,
vibe, and I don't want to
yeah,
stop the vibe. So
yeah,
I'll just keep going. Same with like food and chips. Like, at the end of the day, I mean, I don't care anymore.
yeah,
Right. So if I don't care anymore, then unless I have some kind of a black and white rule in place, I'll go. My gray area is like go right to the chips, go right to, for another example of that is, oh no way, Rick Allen. I see Rick Allen. What up, dude? So the I know that guy. The alcohol. I
yeah,
stopped drinking alcohol because I don't moderate well. Like,
yeah,
I absolutely
same.
love whiskey, but if I have whiskey, I'm not drinking to blackout.
Hmm.
But if there's whiskey in the house, my vibe, it's like it's an insta habit, right? I'm always
Hmm.
gonna have whiskey at the end of the day,
Yeah,
and so I had to
same.
black and white rule it.
I had to say to myself today, actually, I'm like, I'm spending too much money getting coffee out. I got
Hmm.
it like, I was going to the health food store and getting it, like, every other day, and, yeah, it's objectively healthier, but it's still more carbs, more sugar, more calories, and I'm trying to
Yeah.
lose some weight. I got injured in 2023, and I've been trying to get back into athletic shape. So, like, it's adding to my problems, and so
Okay.
I had to say to myself today, for me, it's very all or nothing, and, like, my
Yeah.
dad, who I suspect is ADHD too, like, did
Hmm.
this with drinking and with cigarettes. He went cold turkey with both and
Yeah.
totally stopped, and people were like, "How did you do that?" And for him, it was the money. Like the cigarettes were starting to
That
cost too
was my
much money.
dad too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did the same thing, and same for both. And people who are like addiction experts are like, "How does that work?" Because he just something in his brain was like, "This is it." Like there was that point
Yeah.
of no return. And for me, my point of no return was I'm never gonna lose the weight I wanna lose if I keep doing this, and if I just decide I'm not gonna give myself wiggle room, like, I could sort of force white knuckle my way into it, and I don't know if that's a healthy thing to do, but, like
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I speak to about community a lot. Like when
mhm,
I quit nicotine, it was through a quit group.
mhm,
So like, and even a lot of our ADHD stuff, the ADHD Big Brother community, a lot of that, it's it's doing these things that are tough that we're so easily willing to let ourselves down on is better when it's easier managed with other
yeah,
people. Like even you and me, like talking back
mhm,
and forth about food and stuff like that. We're gonna be inspired. We're gonna have some ideas. You know,
mhm,
when we get off this live, we're gonna be like, I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna black and white my bread.
yeah.
I'm gonna try cauliflower rice because I don't know what the hell you were talking about when you said
Oh,
cauliflower rice. That makes no
it's
sense to me.
it's a blessing and a curse in food form. It's just I mean, my
Cauliflower
mom
crust
loves it.
pizza's not too bad. It's
No,
okay
I've heard
ish.
that. I mean, you live out where I wanna visit one day in California because I feel like those are my
Not
people.
today. It's
Oh,
hot, too hot today. So
it's snowing here. It's literally
I
snowing.
will trade you straight up right
Okay.
now.
I just need the plane fare. Yeah,
I just
I always love California because I
yeah,
feel like, healthy food and fitness and like that's my jam. And East
yeah.
Coast, like I live in Lake Placid, which is like Olympic land. So we have
Okay.
a little of that culture, but like it's still not quite as like health food driven, healthy living driven as I'd like. And like
Okay.
I'm always like watching, and I'm never gonna go here because I probably can't afford to, but like Erewhon, I'm like, I want to go to
What is
Erewhon. It's a health food store. Very
Oh,
expensive,
gotcha. I'm like, I don't even
very
know what that is.
ridiculous. And I'm like,
Sounds like Whole Foods.
it's like
It's like
Whole
everything's
Foods.
yeah.
It's bougie Whole Foods. It's really expensive. Like you
Bougie Whole
you could
Foods.
only go there if you're like a celebrity, I feel like, if you want
Oh
to
man.
buy something. But like I'm just so captivated by that. But anyway, yeah, I
Mhm.
feel like it is helpful to have some sort of off ramp and have a community of people
Yeah.
you could have some accountability with.
Well, especially when
Um
you're trying to guinea pig yourself on things, right?
yeah.
So for me, I'm a total lab rat for myself.
Uh-huh.
So and in like that's how I got to my point of like the omelet every day.
Yeah,
Like at least I don't have to make a decision for breakfast.
that's
So
it.
now it's
Yeah.
like things like snacks and protein. The amount of protein we're supposed to have for our brains, it's stupid.
Yeah.
It is so much. It's like I have to eat a 8 live chickens every day or something. It's
Yeah.
insane. But
It's true.
so getting that is it feels like a project every day. And in
Yeah.
ADHD speak, like a project every day is overwhelming. And I have very few spoons. And how I use those spoons, if I'm going to use them all for food, I don't want
Yeah.
to.
I get it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I'm lucky my mom still cooks a lot of the stuff because she likes cooking and I'm learning to cook more, but like
yeah,
from what I've heard from people, like batch cooking on one day, like you just make a whole
yeah,
bunch of stuff and it's annoying, but if you could distract yourself, like play a podcast or something and just blaze through it. Like this morning, I did this with a bunch of phone calls I'd been putting off. I just like
yeah.
said one right after the other. I did like a sprint and I just dialed people for an hour and I
Oh
got a
my
bunch of
gosh.
stuff cleared up. And it's like you almost have to get in that zone and just vibe through it. That's
Yeah,
what works for me. I think the biggest thing though, like you said, is that accountability portion. Like
yeah,
just saying to somebody, I'm going to commit to doing this, it gives you a little bit of
yeah.
accountability. And
Makes
having
it more
that
likely.
community helps too, because
Yeah.
once you get it out there, it's easier to roll with.
Yeah, I think more likely is sort of what we're in service of with ADHD, in my experience. There's never a guarantee. Like we can
Mhm.
have all these great plans and great ideas and everything, and it's all whatever. It's we're in service of, well, what's going to make it more likely to happen? Like, what are the
Right.
skills and the tools that we put in place to make it more likely? Because
Yeah.
if there's nothing, it's a guarantee not going to happen, right?
Right. Well,
Um,
that's the thing. I think reminding yourself too of like, what can I remove that's not
mhm.
necessary from my day? And this is something I struggle with because I have a million and one things going all the time. But is there something I can remove that's going to make things easier for me?
Oh
So
man, let's
I,
do that right now.
yeah,
Okay, this is the stuff I like to do. Like, let's you and me, and then the people that are on here, Rick, if you're listening, the let's make a food decision and then
mm-hmm,
challenge each other to stick to it. Oh, make it black and white. Like, we have to do it. Like, it's like I can't have chips for snacks for a week, but I can only have like baby carrots. That's gonna be awful. But what's like, what are some healthy things that we can do that, like, to make a decision
yeah. I
to
think
challenge ourselves?
for me, what am I going to remove? I'm going to remove my coffee for a couple.
What?
I wanna try to I drink tea every day, so I'm already
Okay.
mainlining caffeine, but
Okay.
it's,
Okay.
the coffee that has the milk, the latte thing, I have to
Oh,
remove that, and I wanna try
okay.
to today I have a cookie that I promised myself I'd have, that I bought yesterday on impulse, but then
You,
after that, no sugar for I wanna try to
no
do a week.
sugar?
I wanna try like, no added sugar, like, I can have if my mom makes something that has a little maple syrup, fine, but nothing added, like, no chocolate,
Can we talk about
extra
that
stuff.
real quick? I
Yeah,
want to talk about that really quick
that's tough.
because, well, no, you're speaking to a thing that's very difficult for me personally, and it
Mhm,
might be across the board ADHD.
mhm,
Um, the a statement like that, like no sugar, that requires looking at every single thing that I eat and
mhm,
determining and making a decision that's gonna freaking kill my spoons.
mm.
Um, how do you do that? How do you um, handle your sugar? Or do you just eyeball it and go, I don't think that has sugar? Or are you looking at every single package?
For me, part of it is that I've been doing this so long that my baseline food at home is
Uh-huh.
pretty much no sugar. The food I eat is no sugar, it's what I get when I go out. And I supplement. So one of the things I tended to do, which I'm working on not doing, is I'd stock up on things. So I
Oh, okay.
had little treats that I could just have whenever I felt like it. So I'm already pretty much at home, no sugar. But then adding things from outside is where I mess myself
Yeah.
up. So avoiding the
Okay.
places that I do that or making it harder on myself somehow, like maybe not having my credit card on me, for example. It's
Oh,
better.
yeah.
It sort of takes because then it's like, "Oh, okay, I can't do it." It's the little
Yeah, but if you
things.
bring your phone with you now, oh my God,
Oh, I
you can buy
know.
things with your telephone.
It's so hard.
It's crazy.
It's
Okay,
smart,
you're
it's
no
really
sugar.
helpful, but it's tough.
Yeah. So you're going no sugar for what, the whole week?
I'm
Let's make
gonna
it short because you and I will have to check in with each other. Uh,
yeah, a week. I'm gonna try for
7
a week.
days, no sugar. I'm not doing that.
Good for
Um,
you.
I'll tell you. No,
Well,
I'm
if it
not going to do that. I'm going to do no. You know what? So it's easier to do no than it is to be like, I'm going to add this. It's
yeah,
for black and
just
white type
remove it.
stuff. That's like
Just
same
remove
with
it.
like an addiction. It's like it's easier to say no alcohol, and then I'll just suffer.
Yeah.
But it's to add a thing and to oh yeah,
If
I'm
you
going to be
keep
more
giving
thoughtful. I'm going to have healthier meals. I'm like, oh, that's a complicated thing, isn't it?
it
No
is.
bread for me.
It's so hard. It's so hard,
Yeah.
but I feel like you said, removing something is easier than giving yourself little bits of it. It almost keeps that process going. But, like, if
Yeah,
you cut it out,
moderation is yeah. I don't do well with
it's tough.
moderation.
I
I'm
don't
either all
either.
in or all out.
And that's what my grandmother used to say, everything in moderation, and I think I can't do that. It's
Who are
either
those
I'm eating
people?
all the chocolate or none of the chocolate. And, oh, yeah, hard to gain weight with a background. I have the opposite problem, honestly. I have a very easy time gaining weight, which is one of the things that I've been sort of struggling with is once I add those things, then the weight goes on. But when I remove them,
Yeah.
and I can work out less too, that's another motivator. If I'm not doing all this extra stuff that I have to go, quote, "work off," which I realize is sort of a disordered eating thing too, I'm not gonna have as much stuff I have to do. I'm not gonna be going to the gym twice
Yeah.
a day. So
Yeah.
there's that motivation. So I think that helps. Removing things is better than adding things.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna do no bread. I think no bread is doable for me. I'm sorry, I'm very fidgety right now.
That's
Um,
okay.
I can do. I mean, bread should be easy enough. I'm not
Uh-huh.
gonna be able to have burgers or bagels or, um, but so what? Like I can probably deal with that.
I haven't
Um,
had honestly, I only get stuff like that when I'm out. And then that's part of my binge eating behavior because I know it's quote forbidden, even though it's for a health reason because I'm sensitive to it. In my
yeah.
brain, it's like I'm getting away with something. I'm gonna take this muffin and go home and have that. But
Hmm.
the problem is, I'm continuing the problem for myself because I'm sensitive to it. So it's a different scenario. I think a lot of people with ADHD also struggle with not only binge eating, disordered eating, but also food sensitivities and gut issues. And
Yeah. Yeah.
that's the double-edged sword, right? We love the carbs and the sweets, but sometimes our stomachs can't take it and we keep having this problem of contributing to it.
I find that a lot of these things are tough because we know, like, we can sit back and go, this is the ideal me. This is the ideal health me. I only eat these foods and I only am doing this, that, next thing. And it's so monumentally impossible, but we've
Mhm.
visualized it. So now it's our capability.
Right.
We know who we would be at our perfect. And so everything short of that is failure. And that can be really, really freaking hard to manage. I'm a huge fan of like, do a little thing and then do it and then let that will inform how you're going to iterate and do the next thing.
Right.
Um,
Well, remove one thing and then next week remove another thing
yeah,
and then
yeah,
just keep building. For me, after the coffee and the sugar, I don't know what else I could. I mean, I think for me, that's going to be the big thing because I've just been adding all these calories and stuff to myself that I don't need. And since I have
yeah.
sensitivities, it's double problems because I'm then inflaming myself. And I know that.
Mm,
But at the same time, it's like a habit. Like you said, you get into a habit.
yeah. Little bits at a time is always going to be like, and it's so hard to, it's so funny. Like we are doing a little thing at a time, even though it's just the best practices, makes
Hmm.
us feel stupid or makes us feel like less than or something. Like oh, I should be able to do this. I've been wanting to do this forever. I should be able to do it perfectly and all that stuff.
Mm.
Um,
But it's
it's
all
crazy.
tiny, tiny things. Like, one of
Yeah.
the things I've developed for myself is I just gotta work out for 5 minutes, the days I don't wanna go to the gym, and I have a really cool workout. It's 5, 5, and 5 in 5 minutes. So I do 5 air squats, 5 push-ups, and 5
Nice.
sit-ups, and it's easy because I can keep it in my head. I just go for 5 minutes, and that's a good way to I get like, if somebody's starting, that's a good starting point. But for
That's
me,
awesome.
that's a nice warm up, and once I'm through that, I feel ready to do whatever I have to do next. And I think the simplicity is the answer. The less we
Yeah.
can make it complicated. I've actually started training my AI to give me a workout every day because
Okay.
I have the training. I have a master's in fitness and wellness leadership, which means I can run a gym and I could train people at a gym.
Hmm.
But I just need that accountability from something, even if it's a robot. And having it give me what I'm going to do for that day takes that part out of it. I don't have to think about it. I know what I'm doing. I go, I do it, and that's it. But
Yeah.
if I had to put the time in, like as you said, the spoons to plan and then every day iterate it, doing the
Yeah.
same thing over and over. I just wrote about this. Doing the same thing over and over, I think is really hard for ADHD brains to do because we want novelty. So a lot of
Yeah.
traditional training programs don't take that into account. So you give up on them because they're boring. And that's why I liked CrossFit. I was actually a CrossFit trainer for a while. I didn't love the culture. I thought it was a little extreme, but I
Mhm.
liked that every day was new. So that's something I would tell people too. Like you could have novelty in your diet without necessarily eating unhealthy. Like the condiments thing is helpful, trying new recipes, but also having safe meals. I have the same meal too for eggs. I have eggs in the morning and a little bit of ground chicken and
Mhm.
some hummus, which is weird, but I like hummus. So and that helps because, and
That's
again,
funny.
my mom is the cook of the house, so it takes that away from me, and I'm lucky that I have that, but it's easy. We know what we're having, and that's then for dinner, we only eat 2 meals a day, actually. We have, like, a breakfast, lunch, and then a dinner, and so then dinner is, like, whatever we feel like having that's within the plan.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I struggle with a lot of that. With like I love new recipes sometimes, but
But
then
they're overwhelming
they
sometimes
can
too.
be overwhelming. Yeah. And so like it, to your point about novelty, I'd have to be in the mood to
Mhm.
be like, oh, I feel like I want to make something exciting tonight. I'm going to dedicate 3 hours to like a whole process. Um, but that to me would be the exception to my rule of what's my bare minimum.
Right,
Like what's all I have to do to survive and not think and not spend any executive function figuring crap out. Like I remember like doing I back in the day when I was married and we used to go to this holistic doctor,
mhm,
and he would put me on this a cleanse or a detox thing or whatever. It was literally just a whole bunch of herbal pills and
mhm,
water. It was almost like a an allergy diet or something where you eliminate everything.
yeah,
And I liked that because it was very like you don't get to do anything. And there was
right,
all these things that you're not allowed to have. So I would basically be eating baby carrots and lettuce and going, I don't like this. Let me figure out how to make a salad from that. But it was so like, I don't know. I think I'm talking myself backwards on that. Like I made it, it was so hard and yet it was also so easy.
yeah,
Hmm.
because you knew
I
what
don't
you
know.
had to do, right? You didn't have to
Yeah.
think about what you were gonna eat, or it was all there for you, and it
Yeah, I
wasn't
guess
fun,
right.
but
Yeah, I had all these pills laid out that were like, these are what you take.
yeah,
You don't have to think about it. You just take the pills and then salad. Um,
yeah,
super
I
interesting.
I agree. I think it's acceptance too, and like you said, the bare minimum, realizing you're not gonna be perfect with a
Yeah.
perfect diet or a perfect workout or whatever, but you could just do your best from minute to minute. And again, no one's going to be perfect. And unless you're training to be like a bodybuilder, you really don't have to be. It's
Hmm.
just about like learning how to accept where you're at. And the more you can accept the difficulty of it, I find the easier it is to do it. Because when you're talking yourself out of it and saying, this is so hard and I'm messing up and all this stuff, you're you're not accepting that it's difficult and you're pushing back. But when I accept like, yeah, I'm going to be upset that I can't eat coffee or whatever, it feels a little easier. And I think acceptance for me is a big part of ADHD is like accepting it's not going to be perfect and being fine with it.
Yeah. Or being cool with yourself, right? About this, about how like can be a crappy process sometimes.
Yeah.
I think I would do really well having, having, like, I don't know about meal planning, batch making, but maybe like some sort of a light version of meal
Mhm.
planning
Yeah.
where it's like I think I might do better with that. I think what I might do really well with is the snacking, having the at least having on tap whatever the snacks are that are healthy, so that I
Right.
can do the black and white on chips and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um,
I
yeah,
think
that's interesting.
snacks for me, I tend to have, like, almonds or something that has a little bit of protein, a little bit of fat, but again, I have the capacity to overeat that as well. So
Mhm.
I do coconut yogurt sometimes. I honestly try not to snack too much because the more I snack, I feel like I never stop eating then. So I
Yeah.
try
It's
in the
the
morning,
yeah.
it's my meal time and I have tea all day, so I'm constantly drinking. And I think that's like an emotional thing too. It's almost like a way to cope. Um, but
Okay. I like
it,
it. It's a physical thing to me. Like the act
yeah,
of drinking, it's
I
just hand to mouth and all. I don't know if that's from being a chewer and a smoker for so many years, but like that
yeah.
hand to mouth thing is just
And for
feels
me,
right.
I keep a big stand like a mug of
Yeah, yeah,
water, and
yeah.
I'm always drinking, and in a way that's not great either, but the alternative is eating a bunch of things that I don't need. So what I try to do is minimize snacking unless I come back from the gym and I'm like really starving, which has been happening a lot when I go to spinning. So then I'll have like coconut yogurt or maybe some nuts, but it depends on the time of day. And I'm trying not to have too many carby things around because that's what I'll go for.
Yeah, man, me too. You know what I don't quite I've heard this on some places, but like understanding your cues, that to me is pretty foreign. Like knowing when
Mhm.
I'm hungry or knowing when I'm full,
Right.
because I don't really enjoy eating. I'm
Yeah.
like in it to win it. Get the omelet into my belly, so I won't even know that I'm full until like the pizza's all the way gone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I read somewhere somebody says to them out loud when they're done, "I just ate XYZ." And it's sort of a way to slow down and cue their brain that they did eat because it's an impulsivity thing, but also like an attention thing where we don't really notice
Yes.
that we ate something until we
Yeah.
did. And I tend to watch TV while I eat, which is also not great. But then I
Mhm.
have to remind myself, yeah, you just ate XYZ and
Oh
that's it.
my God. Because
It
I've done that thing where you're like, I'm trying to do it as a meditative exercise where you're like literally every single bite you're aware of. I cannot tell you the level of hell that I experience when I do that. I'm
yeah,
like, this is a nightmare.
it's really
Get me
boring, isn't
through
it?
it.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's boring. There's so much I
Yeah.
feel like with ADHD, a lot of it is impatience. And I'm
Yeah.
just now realizing how impatient I am with everything. So, everything quickest possible way through it. But that's not always helpful because with food, you kind of need to know that you ate something or your body is
How
looking
do you slow
it's not
down?
even your body, your brain looks for something else.
Oh, it's going, and I already know what I'm getting to next. The food is like a stepping stone of like I'm supposed to do this, but I
Mhm.
need to get back to my emails or I need to get back to whatever. Um,
Mhm.
how the fudge do we slow down?
I think for me, I try not to have my phone near me. I try to do have my meals, like, when I'm done with everything I know I need to do, which isn't always possible. I don't quite have the answer for that one. I think for
What do
me, it's
these guys
just
say? Who's in the
slowing
chat
down.
room? Answer it for us. How the hell
Yeah,
do we slow it down?
I guess mindfulness helps, like, being aware that
God,
you're
it's
but
so
it's really
crazy.
difficult to slow your brain down.
Or it's like, how do you slow down to really take in a moment that you don't like or that is
Mhm,
so boring and dumb? It's a
mhm,
utility. I'm adding energy into my body and blah, blah, blah. Like, how do
mm.
you slow down? That's a tough one for me.
It is for
Every
me
bite I
too.
have to put on a timer. Every bite's got to take at least 30 seconds.
There's a theory
Ah!
of you have to chew a certain number of times, and that is
Oh,
really difficult too.
peel my face off. Yeah.
Yeah. I struggle with that too, and then the problem there is you don't fully realize, so then you keep eating, and you think, "I need to have more," even though you're fine, and I think hunger
Yeah.
cues are a big problem too because our brains don't always catch up, and I think there was this might be a diet thing, but wait 15 minutes after your meal before you eat more because a lot of
Oh, that
times
sounds good.
your brain hasn't caught up with it yet, or your
Yeah.
I guess your stomach hasn't caught up with your brain, whatever. Either way, it's this mismatch. So giving yourself more time to
Yeah.
realize that you did indeed eat, and then usually by then the impulse is gone. I think a lot of it is impulsivity too, like just wanting to grab something.
Yeah. Yeah. Or just like wanting to like, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
And I think
My brain goes like crazy.
there's an emotional eating component for a lot of people too, because a lot of us don't teach ourselves how to regulate. We
Mhm.
find things early on that work, whether it's food or drinking or smoking. It's like a way, or shopping or whatever, gambling, to not have to deal with that stuff that we're struggling
Yeah.
with and just stuff it down. And one of the things I'm trying to do is, okay, what emotion am I trying to avoid by having this cookie or having this latte? Or because I'm fully aware sweet, salty, or sweet and creamy is like comfort food. So
Hmm.
it's looking for comfort.
Hmm.
My thing has been, okay, what am I trying to avoid right now? And how can
Okay.
I eh, start to navigate that in a different way? Like, can I go exercise? Can I go walk? I have to feel it. And again, that's slowing yourself down, right? The slowing down is the hard part.
Yeah, man, the self awareness aspect of that, the way that I am, you had me thinking when you were saying that is like that when eating becomes a project, when it becomes like a cognitive behavioral project for every meal,
Mhm.
it would be really hard for me to
Mhm.
stop. I want to eat the cookie. Am I going to really stop and be self aware and be like, what is this cookie telling me? What am I feeling and all that stuff? Or do I have to me, I would have to just say cookie bad
Mhm.
and then have the conversation later.
Yeah.
Um, I'm just like, how do I get through the moment? I
Hmm.
see in terms of executive function a lot of the times of like, um,
It's
this is going to be
yeah.
a total side note, but so I was going through a DBT workbook, like a dialectical behavior therapy workbook,
Mhm.
and a lot of these things are it's journaling work, right?
Yeah.
It's like I need to journal my cognitive distortions. I need to journal all these things. And in the moment, I'm just trying to get through a shitty moment. And I just
Mhm.
want to get through it. So to stop and enter into the project of self-awareness and work seems it's tough for me sometimes. Um,
Yeah.
you
I
know,
think there's some acceptance there too of,
yeah,
okay, I messed up. I know why I messed up, and maybe I could try to do differently and just take that part out. Like you said, the removing the behavior, just totally putting it off limits is a lot easier than say putting rules on it, right? Like I can have cookies on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's very difficult to then not have that bleed over until the rest of the week. And
yeah,
like you said, it's the impulsivity, but it's also in the moment you're not going to necessarily slow down. So I think then it becomes an acceptance type of thing,
yeah, and a hindsight, right? An
and then a
acceptance, and this happened.
reviewing.
So yeah, be cool with yourself and review.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, that's
It's
interesting.
tough. And I think there's also times where things happen that sort of force that to happen for you, right? Like
Yeah,
you'll notice something with yourself, or like today I realized, wow, I had this latte and I'm going to not be able to burn it off because I'm not doing my spinning class. And I thought, wow,
yeah,
this is so much more exhausting than just saying
yeah,
I'm not going to do a latte and, I'm going to do something else. And
yeah,
that's like where I was yesterday, and I had too many drinks and all this stuff, and it wasn't worth it. It's
yeah.
just you get to the a tipping point a lot of the time where it sort of forces you into the other direction,
Hmm.
but you also don't necessarily want to get into that point through something horrible happening. So
Yeah,
that's where it's like finding that off ramp.
yeah. Fine. The idea of like doing journaling and doing those things to me, I'm like uh, doing the hindsight work of in the morning. what happened yesterday, and oh, I had that cookie. Or for me, it would be like, I ate half a bag of Cheetos. Okay, now I can do some thought work about that, because I'm not in the moment. I'm not in the throes of trying to just get through the day or whatever. So
Yeah.
maybe that's when I could then make a decision about, okay, what can I put in place today to help me to get over the Cheeto situation, the Cheeto incident, we'll call it.
Yeah. For me, that's like, I have to, you're right. Usually at night when I'm trying to go to sleep, that's when stuff comes up for me, and I have to
Yeah.
think it through and think, that wasn't really helpful, and I'm not going to get to where I want to be if I'm doing this constantly. And I think a lot of it can be, again, I hate to keep doing this, but AI, like when I
The
sit down and
robots.
my robot that's going to kill us all one day, in the meantime, I could talk to it about, what am I, this is what I want. Here's the habits I'm
Yeah.
trying to change. What can I do to fix this? And I have ADHD and this is hard for me. A lot of times it's really shockingly helpful. And
Yeah.
I'm fully aware it just pulls information from wherever. But it
Before
having
you
some,
murder me, help me with my food.
yeah,
Then you can kill me.
I'm always very polite to it because I want it to remember me as one of the good humans. So when the time comes, it's like, hey, she was okay. So we won't
She'll be one of
exterminate
our
her.
enforcers. Okay, good to know.
That
Good
would be
to
great.
know.
That would be good. But yeah, I think it has some validity as an accountability partner too. If you can't find a
Oh yeah,
group
yeah,
of people, having something, even though you know it's not a person, it still gives you that accountability buzz. It's not just you
yeah.
anymore. So,
Yeah, I have a diverging opinion about that particular aspect of AI, because I see that in one-on-one clients and stuff, where
mhm,
like a lot of people are, and I'm pro AI too. Like, let's talk to the ones that are going to murder us.
yeah,
Help
we
me
love
with my
you, AI.
scheduling.
Yeah,
But it's still, I even have clients that will take our notes and they will create a coach, which I'm like, cool, go for it. But
yeah,
it's the community vibe you cannot replace. Like, you're still accountable to yourself,
right.
unless you're able to like personify or humanify an AI, which I don't. That's an issue. But like
Yeah,
the felt accountability of another human being can't be replaced, and that, I believe, is an important component. Like, if you're going to create solutions and then bring it to a community or bring it to an accountability partner, um, but keep it human.
I
Or
agree.
screw me, try it with AI and then see how it works, and then
I
come back
agree.
to me when and if it doesn't.
Right. Yeah. And I think part of it is also just having that community aspect is
Yeah,
giving you that feeling of comfort as well. Where
yeah,
I wrote something about food on Medium actually, and somebody in the comments said, having more community helped me stop eating because it provided something that the food was providing. And that
yeah,
really hit me because I thought, wow, part of my issue is like I tend to isolate myself, and
yeah.
uh, the
Right.
the opposite is what you really need, and not
Yeah.
necessarily going to a party or whatever if that's not your thing, but just being around like-minded people doing similar
Mm-hmm.
things. Like that's why I go
100%.
to my spin class because partially I need someone to bully me into bicycling for an
Okay.
hour, but also the
I would
people.
not. I need someone to yell at me to work harder. I'm like,
Yeah,
that sounds like a nightmare.
I
The
do. I do.
I like, there's people that have I have a friend that would has like she's in a food group, right? And so she will text a sponsor just what
Ah,
she's eating. Like, we'll go out for lunch and she'll just text, I'm having a salad with steak or whatever. And
mhm,
the person doesn't have to respond or anything. It's just the fact that you're putting it out there makes
right.
it more likely, like what we're talking about. It makes it more likely that you're going to stick to the plan because you have a little bit of felt accountability. They might ask you about it, they might check in, makes it more likely to happen.
Yeah,
I'm a big
and
fan of that.
you need community that's supportive too, and I sort of
Yeah.
I joke that I need people to yell at me, but the people who I do spinning with don't really yell at me. They're really nice. But just having that accountability and having someone in the front of the class and prompting us, because again, I don't have to think about the workout. I just do what they
Yeah.
say. And I can see that happening with food too, having somebody
Yeah.
out sort of making your decisions for you a little bit and saying, this is what you should have, like a meal
Yeah.
plan loosely, if you can.
Oh man. Yeah. You know what we did in our community? So I think you know that like I have an ADHD community. It's for
Yep.
doing the work, right?
Yeah.
Somebody created a challenge called Fork Yeah, and it was basically a food challenge where you pick it's kind of like what you and I are doing, right? No
Yeah.
bread, no sugar, and he had it set up to where you got like 3 tokens per month that you
Mhm.
could blow. Some people were doing it for drinking to be like, I'm going to go out with my friends tonight. I'm going to use one of my tokens.
Yeah.
Gamification of this stuff is like is huge.
Yeah.
Um, Makes it more likely that you're going to
Yeah.
follow a thing, right? Yeah,
And that's the thing.
100%.
Yeah. For apps though, for me, I have to choose, like, if I'm gonna use an app for something, I have one app or no apps, because if I have
Yeah,
like 5 of them or something, I'm not gonna keep up with that.
right.
So, I know
Yeah,
there are some apps that are good for habits. For me, I think it's easier to just focus on one thing I'm gonna give up like we just did and not have it, right? "Oh, bye, see you
by
later."
beautifully broken. You're beautifully broken. You
I love
love
that
the
name.
cracks are lovely. That's funny.
I
I'm
think
really
that's
bad at looking at this, like looking
I'm
at what people say. It's like
it's
if
hard
people
on
were,
on the little not the computer, but on the little cell phone screen, like, sometimes I miss it before it disappears, so,
oh,
yeah, it's
I
tough.
can't follow it. It's too many things. I mean, I saw Rick was there, but like it's hard for me.
It's
Especially if
hard
you're
to
doing a
s
presentation.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
now let's
especially
go
if
to the
you're
next
typing.
slide. What's the chat saying? What am I saying?
It's so yeah, there's so much to manage now, but I think that's what you were saying is, again, simplifying is better than adding stuff, and just
Oh yeah.
removing something for a period of time is easier than every day I'm gonna do something different, like, focusing on a weekly basis and then just going along. I had to do it the hard way, though. I had to do a food sensitivity, they called it a Feingold diet, which is basically an elimination diet.
Oh,
So
okay.
I
Yeah,
had
yeah.
to take away all the stuff, and then I was supposed to add them one by one, but I felt so good that I didn't. I just stayed gluten-free, dairy-free,
Oh,
with
rad.
very low sugar. That's how I still eat, except again, if I go out somewhere, I tend to go a little off the rails with it, but that's I felt so good. I
Yeah,
was like, I'm not going to go back on this stuff. And it was getting to the
yeah.
point where it was doable for me. I had my little treats, like, I went to the health food store, I got my little, fake ice cream sandwich or whatever, and that was fine. It it's I
LA would
think
be a good place for you, like for
I
going out to
feel
eat
like
because it's
I'm
very
telling you.
friendly to all like the intolerances and all those things. Because like I tend to be bashful about asking for changes in food, but man, going, LA's its own little bubble of like city places that tend to be more friendly for like, oh, what's your gluten-free version of this or whatever, right?
Yeah, there used to
Yeah.
be a place in New York City I went to called Hugh Kitchen, and they make the
Mhm.
chocolate bars. I don't know if you've ever seen them out and about.
Nope.
They basically they had this big beautiful place off Union Square, and during the pandemic, like many people, they just couldn't afford to stay open and they went out. But they used to have really good food, and you'd see all the actor model types because they had very, vegan, gluten-free. They did have some meat, but they had all these options. And I'd go there and I'd be like, I wish it was like this where I live. Like, I live up in upstate New York, and
Ooh, cool.
their idea of accommodation is like, "We have oat milk now." And it's like, "Great." I can't do too much oat milk. I love how it tastes, I just can't. I do
Yeah.
coconut milk, but I feel like
Oh,
in California, that's, like, normal. So,
you can get all the milks out here.
I
What
know.
kind of milk would you like? They can milk an almond, they can milk anything.
I know. That's great. I love it. But one day I'll get out there. So,
Someday, come on out to LA. I can't wait to leave. As
oh,
soon as
really?
as soon as Alistair graduates high school,
Yeah.
so 2 more years, I'm gonna get an RV. I'm gonna live in an RV because
Yeah,
I
you
can
should.
coach people and run a community anywhere, anywhere.
I
And I
know.
need to be around nature. I need to be. I
Yeah.
noticed that about myself the other day. I went kayaking with my college son in the Long Beach area.
Mhm.
The moon jellies are out. We got to pet moon jellies, but like being
Wow.
out in nature, I had no. My mind was blank.
Yeah.
It's never blank. It was like I was on Adderall. You know what I mean? It was like it was so peaceful.
I just had to plug my phone
It was
in.
glorious.
Yeah,
Very
I
glorious.
agree.
So I need that.
I feel that same way about, like, where I live. I go out and that's one of the things I like about Lake Placid that even
You
though
got nature out there.
we have a lot of nature, it's a very clean place to live, there aren't a lot of people. We have a lot of events coming up, but,
Cool.
like, there are seasons we don't have very many people at all, which we call mud season because all the snow melts and it's just really gross and sandy and muddy. But
Okay.
it's still nice. There's still trails, you could still go out. I have, like, a trail system maybe a couple blocks from my house, and I could just walk over there, and I love
Yeah.
it. I
Let's
love it.
go.
But at the same time, there are things that are a little tough, like specialists, doctors. You have to drive 2 hours. I have to drive either to Albany or Burlington, if any of us have any specialty healthcare needs, which
Yeah.
is fine, but it is a very different way of living. You don't have that urban environment,
Yeah.
which I could live without. I would love to be somewhere that's a little more open with the food and dietary needs. That it's better up here, but it's still a little weird. So
Yeah. And all the most bizarre exercisey gyms that you could possibly imagine out
I
here.
bet.
All the contraptions and all the weird Pilates mixed with yoga, Tai Chi mixed with bands. And
Well, doesn't it all start out in California and migrate to the East Coast? I feel
I
like
don't
all
know.
the
Who
trends start
knows?
out there.
Who knows?
I mean,
Who knows?
I
Yeah.
never thought I would do CrossFit. It was never something on my radar. And
Yeah.
then we had a gym open up, which is now a cannabis dispensary, which shows you how
Oh,
things shift in life.
yeah.
But I learned that it wasn't so scary, and I did that for about 3 years. I got in probably the best shape of my life. And then COVID hit and eventually they went out of business and all this stuff. But I was a trainer and I never
Cool.
thought that would be something I would do because I'm not that kind of hardcore person.
Yeah.
But I just really liked the variety. And I feel like that's important too. Whatever it is, whether it's food or exercise or whatever, we
Yeah.
have to keep it fresh because if you
Yeah.
lock yourself into one thing, you're going to hate
Yeah.
it.
That's awesome. And can't you be a trainer that's not hardcore? I
Oh,
had a
yeah, you
trainer,
can.
man. I had a trainer. Um, the one time, this. I'll tell you a quick thing before we go, but like the I was in one of the wildest depressive episodes, post divorce, post breakup. After that, and I was like, I think I'm going to be alone and miserable for the rest of my life. I think that's what I'm doomed to be. So if I'm going to be that way, I'm going to look good doing it. And
There
I
you
was
go.
like, that was my only. I never went to a gym, and I found a guy who was a trainer, and he must have been ADHD specific. He was so cool. I was like, the second
Yeah.
you get aggressive with me, I'm going to tell you to F off. I'm like,
Yeah.
you need to be nice and you need to help me, and I will work hard, but you got to be delicate. I'm a flower. You have to
Yeah.
handle me.
Yeah.
So
That's
I'm like, man, I don't the aggressive macho sports culture is I don't gel with that at all.
Yeah, I
Um,
didn't either, and I was like that, and I did better with one-on-one clients, but I was teaching group classes, and they
okay,
demanded a certain level of, "This is
really,
what we're gonna do," and you had to be really macho. I just didn't
that's
like that,
interesting.
and it wasn't like explicit thing, and I had a lot of people in that gym that I really liked and got along with, and there was never any of that problem. It was
Yeah,
just it was clear what they wanted and expected, and I wasn't that personality. So
Do you is that
after
what the culture of like the more
I,
people you get, they want
I
a
think
lot more of a
so.
leadership?
I
Like
think they want someone really loud and sort of like outgoing,
really
and I was a little more into myself, and I did better with one-on-one clients, and I actually like working
interesting.
with older people better than
Okay,
people my age or little guys. I'd rather work with older people, and that's the kind of vibe I had, but
cool.
I think it wasn't I think the people who came there wanted to be sort of pushed and sort of not intimidated, but they wanted a different vibe, and I just couldn't do that. So then I said, "Okay, this is not what I'm meant to be doing." But it was a good opportunity for me to see that AI could be that, pass the trainer exam, do all that stuff, and get in really good shape. And now I know that's possible and I could do it again and do it on my own terms,
Yeah,
without
yeah,
having someone yell at me. So, and they were
cool.
actually not that type. The people who ran the gym were really nice, which is how I got into it, but I'm trying to not tell myself, "Oh, you need someone to yell at you. You need someone to, be a little scary. You need someone who's gonna support you, who's
Mhm.
gonna give you what you need." And, a lot of the times that's me. I have to be the one I need. So, you learn.
Yeah, right on. Chrissy, this has been fun. It's a fun
Yeah,
chat.
absolutely. I'm so glad you got on the live.
Yeah,
Now you know it
this is
exists.
my first Substack live ever, and I had a lot of fun doing it. So thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
Thank you
And
for inviting me onto your Substack.
And I'm gonna post this on mine, and I think I could tag you, or you
Do
could
it. What
restack
do I
it or
do?
something,
Repost? Yeah,
and
I don't
then,
know how it works.
it'll exist in perpetuity.
Everything we said, we can't redact it. They will know what we said. Oh
It's scary,
God,
but hey.
let's go. Let's do it.
Well, take care. It was so great to talk to you.
You too. Thank you so much.
Yep, bye.